There's a tropical cyclone threatening the start of the AFL season and opening round up north, but we are that much closer to the start of the 2025 SuperCoach season. This is the Phantom speaking. Welcome back to the Phantom's Lair podcast, a big show. Talking of cyclones, there's going to be one going through here in a little bit. There's plenty to get through. 5 names have got a bit that's going to blow our socks off, I think, but of course, Code Sports YouTube channel. Get on there, like and subscribe now. Tell us what you think. Have a look at the show in video format for the first time if you are just joining us for the 2025 season. And of course, on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a rating. Let us know what you think. We take it all on board, don't we, Dossie? 5 names is here, as I mentioned, but show is our man, Junior. Phantom Junior was pretty excited about Harley Reid last week, but not sure what happened on the weekend.
Why are we starting?
We're starting there.
Why are we starting there? He's fine. You say don't overreact to practice games. The GOAT having a slightly down performance, playing mostly forward, a little bit of forward, a bit of mid, fifth in line for midfield time.
And also not against LEO's long-lost cousin.
That's right. Or the tradie that worked before the practice game.
God.
You talk about overreacting, and you've gone again. Now, you have gone again with, I think, the biggest overreaction in the history of SuperCoach. And you've got a lot of people on board. You know, this is false advertising almost. You're leading a lot of people astray. We're going to get to it soon. It's going to be a big show. Big show. A lot of numbers to talk about. Of course, no SuperCoach this week in opening round. We have to wait to the round 1 clash, Carlton and Richmond on Thursday week. But we're going to see some footy this week, some official SuperCoach scores. We might not see any footy on Thursday.
Yeah, we might. I was going to say when you were going to say Brisbane and Geelong, we still might have that game as a SuperCoach one in round 3.
Well, as of time of recording here, Monday, March 3, the Brisbane are playing with the AFL to make a call and potentially reschedule that game, which might be in round 3, which would. Kate, we would need an emergency podcast that happens.
That would change a lot. That would be big for Lockie Neal.
Yep.
Like guys like Lockie Neal, Dunkley, all the Brisbane guys.
Guys we're going to talk about from Sydney as well.
Yeah.
Like Matty Roberts, etc.
But I'm picking Lockie Neal even with the bias. I want to say that on record in case the game is rescheduled by the time you listen to this. I'm picking Lockie Neal anyway, even with that bye. Forget the bias.
Do you see enough against the Troyes?
Yep, forget the bye. West Coast and Richmond in the opening 4 rounds. A little lock.
If he
200 against West Coast, maybe 250 against Richmond.
It might be 250 against West Coast, 300 against Richmond.
Yeah, true.
Huge. Now, did I make a mistake there before?
A little bit.
It's Geelong, isn't it? It's
yes,
Geelong
it's
that's
Geelong.
playing. So
Yes.
what I meant to say was Sam de Koning would be a lock, not Matty Roberts. So
Yeah.
lock him in. Keep an eye out. But these obviously count towards break evens and scores like that. So it's a massive weekend to watch a footy. But before we get into that, we got to recap what we saw on the weekend, fans.
Official SuperCoach scores too from every game. If you haven't already, codesports.com for every score. I'm going to touch on the main ones though.
Yeah, check it out in the SuperCoach app as well, the news tab. You can check all those stories there. First of all, though, before we get into I've got some categories to go through in the show today.
Very serious today, 5 names. Been pretty excited about the show.
Right to the pointy end of research now.
Yep.
I wanted to get
Still
for you guys.
Still got another week.
The guy that you are buying the hype on, the one player from the weekend you're buying the hype on, just one each. Fans, start with you.
Buying the hype on. Now, I do like Matty Roberts, but the man I am buying the hype on, the one I'm bringing in, I didn't think about him all pre-season seriously, but Finn O'Sullivan from North Melbourne. He was very good on the weekend against the Eagles. Played at half back as well in the second half, floated back, took a nice intercept mark, 9 intercept possessions. So the hype is real with Foss.
How was he not on your team?
He's in my team now.
How wasn't he?
A lot of high price guys in the rookie bracket. Too many, but he's in. And job security is, as we know, we're paying extra for these guys. We want to be sure the job security, and Clarko is going to play him every week if he's fit.
All right. My one is, unfortunately we had the bad news for the Bond. Rest in peace, Bond.
He's dead.
But I'm his chances of a brown line. I'm listening to the Bond, and I am buying all stock in Joel Frazier.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. He announced
Bears
that
man.
he was his breakout pick. Bont himself said it.
I like it. I like it.
I mean, who's Bear? I know who Bear is. Absolutely just racked up the pill against the Hawks. I know Bailey Dale's coming back, but surely he should be able to. Surely should be able to, keep finding the footy. A lot of marks as well, a lot of nice kicking, and also this time of year, especially this is a game for the halfbacks at the start of the year before it gets a bit, slip the ball. The conditions aren't great, so I reckon he's going to have a real red hot start to the year. I change stuff around to get him in.
I like it. Now he does fit in. Given there's rookie issues in defence. I don't mind the extra number there, elevated price. I like that from 5 names. We're going to have to crown him the MVP of the preseason. He's had a good summer and he's come in firing as well. Just give a clip to our old mate Bear as well. We love that. We
do love that. My guy that I am bringing in, I'm buying the hype on, Christian Petrarca for me. Christian Petrarca, all in. Former Norm Smith medalist, I'm buying the hype fully for him. So I think he's back to his best. And playing midfield, I just didn't see that coming off the rib, straight into the guts. First clearance of the game.
Yep.
Bang.
You've changed. I was expecting someone else there because you've gone the big dog over the weekend about another player.
Yep.
We're going to talk about him now, or we're going to wait?
Let's wait. Let's tease it out. Let's tease it out. I'm going to go through the categories, all right? And we're going to talk about these players. So we're going to go through our AAMI series, AAMI Community Series takeaways. I just want to kick it off because we keep talking about the same guys every week. The listeners would probably be, especially if they're just jumping on now, they want to know which players they need to lock in, but we don't want to keep hammering the same points over and over. So confirmed locks based on what we've known throughout the whole preseason and through what we just saw in the AAMI Community Series that confirmed what we knew all along. Jack McRae, 117. Yep. Top scorer for the Saints. He's available as a forward. Massive discount. He's a lock. 117. Caleb Daniel, 113 points for North Melbourne. He's a gift. He's playing halfback this year. He's a confirmed lock. Clayton Oliver, if there was any questions about him, he answered all of those.
Yep, he looked good.
134 SuperCoach points, 28 touches, 3 snags on the weekend against Freo. He looked back to his best. He's done a full preseason. Just lock him into your midfield. Was the top scorer for Melbourne. So those are the guys I've just had as a confirmed lock. So that's only 3. I'm not going overboard here.
Mm-hmm.
Not going overboard. Now, I had some dominant top price premiums, though, that we can quickly touch on as well. So basically, these guys, they dominated. If you're willing to pay top price from before, they wouldn't have changed your mind in this one. Nick Dacos, 153 in 59% time on ground.
Playing a VFL team, though.
Playing Richmond.
Elliot Yo's half-brother might have been out there.
he could have been up there. Elliot's half-brother might have been best on ground.
I think matchups are really important to note. That's, a good point. Anyone against Richmond. Saints were absolutely pathetic for the Port Adelaide matchup as well. And we know from last year, Saints defenders against St Kilda tend to pop off, which maybe we'll talk about.
Yeah, we will.
Just on the thing, tiny little flag on Dacos. If you do look at the run to begin, there could be some tags. I did see somebody saying where the tags could come.
Yeah,
but he was good. He's very good at footy.
In my team, quickly, I know because we have had some injuries in the top end premium bracket, which we'll discuss after.
And you're not alone, fans. The 5th most traded in this week was Nick Dacos to cover some massive injuries that we've had. In the preseason. We knew last week, the Wednesday pod with Breaking Even Thou, they touched on it. Zach Butters going down last week. Bont over the weekend. Goulden.
Oh, that was nice.
Some big popular names in Supercoach.
Popular names are going down. So no wonder people are resting on Dacos as a top-end premium that they're going to bring in now as their sort of, massively priced player that they can lock away as a captain choice.
Yeah, but I don't like the injuries. We wish these guys a quick recovery, but it does make things interesting in Supercoach. Changes things up a little bit, makes some decisions a bit more interesting there in the top end. In the midfield, Dacos in for me, forget the buy. I've said it a while. It doesn't matter about the buys with best 18 and flex. So he's in.
Other top price dominant premiums that, again, I don't want to touch on too much because they just proved what we already knew that they're guns. Harry Shee's 170.
Could have been. He could have been in the first category. Confirmed locks.
No, I think he.
Yep.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've been outvoted 2-1.
Ooh.
yeah.
Okay, can
Boo him up.
Lock him in.
Tristan Sherry, 141 as well. Again, noting matchup. Both those guys played West Coast. Dacos played Richmond. So
Jerry's almost a lock.
that being said, West Coast 2-0 in the preseason.
Yeah, no, I agree with 5 names. Dossie is not picking Cherry at the moment.
There's a lot of cash you guys are talking about here. You don't have much cash to spend elsewhere if you're locking in all these big dogs.
Got beaten in the hit-outs to advantage by Matt Flynn. Still scored 141.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's up to you. I do have, though, here. Didn't have him as a lock.
Ooh.
Dominant top price premium. Our man, he's on the wall here. The horny one.
Oh.
Give it to us.
There he is again, the horny one.
The horny one. Is he a lock?
He's a lock.
He's been a lot for me. The top. He's
Only 108.
only. It's pre-season. He did what he had to do. They're playing secure. He's doing. Rosie's just running around doing his thing. Horne-Francis is doing now. Just need to do what I need to do. Just keep it going.
All right.
Yeah.
And our Peyton still, I don't think, he was getting close. Now, I don't mind breaking even with Alf. If you haven't listened to the other show on the AFL Supercoach podcast platform, doing some good work over the Melbourne, despite not picking Jason Horne-Francis. Surely he has to. Butters is out. 31 touches for the horny one, 68% game time.
I'll be talking with the number 1 overall coach from last year as well, Joven, on the show this week. So tune in to Breaking Even with Al. So I'm going to talk about some movers and shakers now and your thoughts on these guys, because these guys were the ones that people are trading in or out this week based on their scores. The number 1 player.
Exclusive data too.
This is exclusive data.
Counting it up,
yes.
unless you're tracking the app the whole weekend, which...
Correct. These aren't available, but they are to the Lair.
Yep.
Connor Rozee, the number 1 most traded in player across the weekend, 160 points against St Kilda. I did mention they were poor. St Kilda, they were very poor on the weekend, but no Butters.
Yeah.
We wanted to see a strong performance from Connor Rozee. He was already underpriced based on his performance last year, under 100 price tag. Started the season last year going at about 110 before injuries hit. Interest? You're interested?
I'm interested, yeah. He's one of those ones where I've still been just sticking fat a little bit with Brayshaw at the moment, but Rozee could easily find his way into my team.
Wow. Yeah.
Not in my team. Very good on the weekend. Had him in my team before. We know his ceiling is massive. We know he's had his issues with injury that probably, resulted in that inconsistent Supercoach scoring, but I still want to see that first. Good price, $5.29, I know, but can he be consistently at that level to make himself a 600k man in Supercoach? I'm not sure yet.
I just like their run early.
Yeah,
that's what I bring up. So, I mean,
Round
if he can replicate what he did against St Kilda again, I mean, they might put a bit more attention to him the second time round. Obviously, he just dominated them. But yes, as you mentioned, Richmond round 2, he's up against Essendon, which might not mean much to many players, but it's one of his favourite teams to score against as well.
He played a game last year against Essendon Gather round. One of the better games, individual games you'll see.
Yeah, so his last 3 against Essendon, 104, 141, 152 for Connor Rozee. Obviously, Richmond, his recent history is just pretty standard, but it's Richmond. So, it would be hard to pass up, especially you're going with the crowd now. He's almost 20% owned. If you go against him and he pops, you might be fighting your way back there. Some other names, big moves and shakers. Angus Sheldrick, a player that was mentioned in the Rookie Bible the other week. He turned up, playing significant midfield minutes for Sydney. Also looking at, Goulden now missing time from the weekend. He fractured his ankle, out for, 3 months?
I don't even think they've put a time frame on it.
It's going to be a while. Sheldrick, an inside midfielder at heart. You think he's going to...
I like it, and he's done it before. We've seen, obviously, the limited opportunity in his career so far, but he has scored well in that time when he's been given those midfield minutes. And he's had the extra preseason. He's sort of more ready than some of the other top-end draftees, but still not in my team yet. Is he still a sub-risk? Is he still guaranteed to play a full game in the midfield? That is my only question, because we're going to have to make a call on some of these top-end rookies, because there's a lot putting the hand up now. Again.
Yeah, and you'll probably touch on a final edition of some sort of rookie Bible as well, with Dan Batten making sure that after opening round, because that's the all dictating strategy when you're looking at your rookies, you will touch base there. But these are the other guys brought in. I won't touch on all of them because they are rookies, a lot of them. Finn O'Sullivan, to your point, if you hadn't considered him, I think he is a very safe option now, just under 200K. You're paying up, but his job security looks massive at North Melbourne. James Leake, he was the top centre bounce at 10D for GWS.
Yep, we've talked him up. A lot of people try to talk him down.
Yep. He should be the liaison. He could be
because remember, 5 names saved him. Everyone was writing him off. Played 1 quarter. 5 names did some digging. He's just another big tick in his pre-season dossier. Found out that he actually played the 4 quarters. Played 3 quarters off air. Giants loved him. Put him in. A lot of 20 CBAs, I think, for James Leake.
Huge.
And again, for people questioning maybe 20 CBAs, didn't score that well, didn't get enough of the footy, still his first proper game at AFL level against an opponent in the midfield. So role is what we're looking for there. I think the points, if he does get a bit of a go, Tom Green coming back is the issue, but I think there's enough there to back him in. The
defender rookies also are looking a little thin, so you probably...
Hope he's in there. Hugh Boxall for St Kilda scored an 83.
He's continually impressed.
And honestly, it was probably the second highest scorer for the season. He was right up there because Jack McRae was 117. The next, I think he literally might have been. Anyway, he was right up there. So if his job security is there, he's a basement price midfielder. So, not a 99K basement, but right up there. So keep an eye on him. Lots of people jumping on board. Harry Sheasel was another one that people saw the 170 and said, I ain't going without him. Matt Flynn, you mentioned him winning the hitouts to advantage. I'll pass to Sim because it sounds like Fance is keen on him. You keen on Matty Flynn as a flex or a ruck option?
Flex maybe. It's just going to be hard to find cash. I think there's another one, on the most traded in that you can't pass up now as a ruck if you are going with someone like a Cherry. I think, you know what I'm talking about?
I do know who you're talking about. I'll touch on him in a second. I'm keen on Matt Flynn. I think
as a flex, R2.
Flex for me at the moment.
He's got to be on field. If you're gonna pay up for him, you can't have him sitting on your bench. So he's got to be in either your ruck 2 position or flex, which a new position this year. If you're just joining SuperCoach now, there is the flex position as well, which you can use any position on field. And I think it's a great. This is why I was excited about flex. If there was an option to bring in an extra ruck that can make cash, like Flynn is the perfect example. He'll be the number 1 ruck for West Coast unless he's injured, which is a question, sure. But for me, he was a lock to start when I first opened Team Picker. He's back in because he was injured. He was out. If he's playing round 1, which it looks like he will be, he's in for me.
Just on that note, looks like your man Archie Reid might be doing the backup ruck.
He did. There was no Oscar Allen on the weekend. He was at his brother's wedding, best man. But I think Archie Reid could be a nice little get out plan, as I've said a few times. If you want to go 3 rucks, those 3 big dogs, and do have Matt Flynn at your 3rd flex spot, you can switcheroo. I've mentioned this really high class, high mind thinking.
Here we go. 5 names
in SuperCoach, but I do like Archie Reid on the bench there.
Flynn at my flex spot. I'd love to pick him at R2.
Scored 98 points too.
Love to pick him at R2, but
98 SuperCoach points.
As 5 names said, is there a guy that you probably just can't overlook? R2.
Tom De Koning.
Yep.
138 points.
Your man. You've been on for a while. I'll give you that.
Thank you. I was on last year for the hot patch, and what a hot patch it was. No Mark Pitnet, as we mentioned last week. He's injured to start the season with a calf. I think you've got to ride the wave of TDK. Enjoy the highs, enjoy the lows, but to start the season, he might just start off on fire. Carlton round 1. This guy's more of a midfielder than a ruck, and he's going to tear it up. Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
If it wasn't the Tigers first up and you weren't bracing for it'd be a hard watch if you didn't own him. Thursday night, first game of SuperCoach.
VC.
Tom De Koning's out there against
VC
Richmond. And obviously Nank's a good ruck. Nank's a great ruckman. It's more what Tom De Koning can do around the ground against the young Tigers.
Yep. All right, that's the big ones that were traded in. this weekend. Matty Roberts was another one. We'll talk about him in a sec, I think. But let's move on to the traded out. Bo Allen. It hurts. -12 SuperCoach points. People are jumping off. They're not thinking that he's going to be the same.
People are swearing at him on the social media.
You don't like that.
Brutal. It was brutal.
Just a game.
Yeah.
Just a kid.
Yep.
But also, are we writing him off? Still going to have the role. He's not going to get dropped off the back of that. Rookie defenders are slim. Ready-made player in terms of, senior experience, ready to come in. We saw it in the practice match before the AAMI series. Are you writing him off?
I'm not writing him off at all, no. I mean, as you said, I think job security should be there. Look, and we get to see if he's named round one, unless a bunch of defenders emerge from opening round scores and they've got really nice break-evens. I think if you're stuck and you really don't have any other defender options that are cheap and it's really ruining your structure and he's named, I think it might be a slow burn. He might not be scoring massive points for you and you want to definitely have him off field if you can. But yeah, I think he's still got strong job security, and that's really what you want from a rookie that's sitting on your bench.
Yep, don't write him off. And you mentioned the rookies in opening. Remember Blake Howes last year from the Demons, I think in the 90s. And we had to pick him.
Yep,
had to put him on in your side, given he can have that score already in his rolling average. So that could happen again.
Looking at some other names. Bontempelli's out, obviously. Toby Travalia, again, only played a quarter and a half for Richmond's out. Neil Erasmus is out after not playing much at all for Fremantle. Harvey Langford's dropped out. He did play a bit for Melbourne, but was completely out of the midfield mix, even in a practice simulation. So you'd expect he's going to have a less Supercoach-friendly role. Max Hall out from St Kilda as a rookie there as well. Caleb Sarong randomly was out as well. And one player that is interesting, Hugo Garcia. A lot of people not on board.
Now, this is Supercoaches trading out these players, the most traded out players over the weekend.
Still had the role. Like, still like he had plenty of CBAs. It's just they couldn't get hold of the footy.
Yep, I agree. I think he's still going to be okay.
All right, guys. So now I'm going to jump into the next categories. The standout rookies. We've talked about a few that people have traded in. We've already mentioned Finn O'Sullivan multiple times. Isaac Kako, 97 Supercoach points. Elijah Sardis, 90. Both of those guys play opening round, so we don't really need to worry about them. As long as they score okay and get named in opening round, you can pick them.
31 touches, 13 tested possessions, 10 clearance for Elijah Sardis. Lock him in.
No.
Hopefully, yeah.
Just on Kako. It was a very good 4 goals, very impressive, 97 Supercoach points. We raised on this show and in the Rookie Bible that we might have to choose between he and Joe Berry for that similar price small forward in Supercoach. Joe Berry didn't do as much, still 14 touches, 48 Supercoach points, had some nice moments, but Kako's in the lead now. We're not going to expect that from him every week, but he's in the lead now.
If you look at the guys, and I don't think Berry's a really big sub-risk, but he's more of a sub-risk than Kako.
Yep, that's fair.
Then I had Sheldrick 100, Boxall, as we mentioned, 83. Sam Davidson, how good was he? Yep, the top 5. He was number 2, I think, in your rookie rankings, Phantom, for the forwards in the Rookie Bible. Sam Davidson scored 81, but looked even better than that, I think.
29 touches.
On the wing, that kind of he's just going to get a lot of easy ball.
Yep.
Which is nice.
Had a heap of it. And obviously Dogs lacking in depth at the moment with all the injuries. You'd think job security's locked in. And what's his other stuff? He was the medalist, wasn't he, last year, or rising star in the VFL?
Yep, the Folligal round Mitchell medalist, I think, is the VFL's best young player. We know that was Sam Closey last year and, Bailey Fritsch in the past, and a lot of big names have gone on to play in the AFL since then. We named him the easiest rookie selection in Supercoach. That was when put him on your bench, bang. But you could field him now.
He's on my field now.
Yep.
Yeah, same. Mitch Nevitt scored a 70, but I'd probably argue he looked a little bit better as well. Fance, what's the go there?
Was good, very clean. Mitch Nevitt was early, especially a little bit fumbly late. 22 touches for him, 10 contested possessions, only 2 cats in double-digit contested possessions. So Mitch Nevitt scored well enough there, definitely. And we have to remember as well the 3,300 points in Supercoach, which we know are divvied out each game. have to be spread a little bit further in these
that's a
AAMI
good
Series
point.
games, given there's more players.
Yeah, you
on the
did.
field.
You did flag that at the desk before, and
Yeah, surprised you.
you've still got a bit of knowledge up there. Old
Just
fancies.
it was just when you were starting to
Spitting
question
some
me,
wisdom.
questioning me on a few things, but
That's good.
still got it.
So you're saying people could have even scored the Sheasel 170 might have actually been a little bit higher.
It's hard to be exactly sure. I think it's more your mid-tier, bottom end that
okay.
to shave a few off them potentially.
Have to give Freako a call soon.
Yep,
Let's get the word.
He does listen. He'll
listen,
probably tweet about this as well.
Yep. All right.
Passive aggression from the freak.
This is my next little category I've got here. Guys that had a great role, great scoring, and
here we
a
go.
great price.
Here we go.
Let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
we get
This is
interesting
exciting.
five names.
This is a good part. This is what the guys we want to talk about. Harry Perryman, 122 points, 417K. I know you've talked about him before 5 names.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty interested.
I like him. Again, playing Richmond's midfield, but roles there.
Did he get enough of the ball? 10 tackles,
He's a tackler. Yeah, he's a pressure player.
20 touches.
He's a defender. I think the issue is we just don't have the value in defence. We don't know who's got the role, and it's all about role. And that's why I have these guys. The players we're mentioning here have a great role, and that's Harry Perryman for me.
Can I quickly just jump in there? Quick one-word answer. Perryman or Roberts in defence? Perryman or May Roberts? We had to pick one. Dossie?
Roberts.
5 names?
Depends on how Roberts go. Depends how they do on opening round.
There's about 12 words there from 5 names. So yes or no? No, Roberts or Perryman? Right now.
At the moment, Perryman.
Yeah, Roberts for me.
Yeah, I just think, that's a good question, Fance. If you got to pick one between, I've got both personally. I mean, the answer for me would be both, but I think Perryman's ceiling is just not as high as the running halfback role. And he's not the number 1 mid Perryman. He's going to be the number 2, number 3, depending on the week and who's in there. Whereas Matt Roberts, we've seen him last year when he was in that distributing role. He was the guy back there. I know he's got Blakey to contend with as well, but his efficiency and stuff that we've seen is just, he's a scorer.
Yep. 27 disposals, 88% efficiency for Matt Roberts, 119 Supercoach points. Got a bit of love on X over the weekend, just about, the fans were listening in, noticed that old mate over here, Dossie, the Chief, also I'll quickly butt in because we've got some more mail over the weekend. I forgot about the top of the show.
Yeah.
So he got chiefed at the coffee shop.
Yep.
As we know.
Yep.
Chief. Might have also got chiefed at his footy club by a captain on the track. Fair thanks, Chief.
Wow.
And not a Lair listener. So not unrelated chiefing.
Are you going back to the footy club after this?
Yeah, you're done.
I haven't been there for a little bit, actually. The old back.
The Chief.
No good.
Chief by the captain, hey?
Chiefed.
Imagine getting that by Jordan Dawson at the Crows.
But
he would chief a few.
Anyway, the fans noticed that you were trying to cast some doubt over Matt Roberts when I was talking about him. About his kick-ins mainly, I think, as well.
Okay.
Proved again. Only had 3 kick-ins on the weekend. Still dominated. Doesn't because they go to him anyway. So doesn't matter about the kick-ins, Matt Roberts.
I think you make up these stories sometimes, fans, just to prove your narrative. But we'll move on to the players. Great role, great scoring, great price, continuing. Matt Flynn, we mentioned, 98, just playing pure ruck for those who didn't see that. Jaden Short, 107.
5 names.
My boy.
He was on about 100 at halftime. I think Freako tweeted out.
The ball's going to be there. The ball's going to be there a lot.
Finished on 107. Are we worried about the slow finish? Because Short has known to go big in patches and then die off. Seemed to do the classic in this one. He's the one I really don't know about. Like, everything says just pick him. Can he do enough to just be in your team all year and not have to worry about him? Or is the idea to just get him up and trade him out? Because I think if you're going to get him up and trade him out, you can probably just put a rookie or a...
Yeah, is he cheap enough to do that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is he cheap enough?
I still like him.
Okay.
I want to see how it goes.
Don't mind it. Was good last week, just not cheap enough for mine. Not enough maybe value in the selection.
Talked about Matty Roberts already. 119. Adam Chera, 108 in 70% time on ground. I've been on, 60% time on ground, 108. I've actually been on this guy very early. I know there are a few people over on the Wednesday podcast, including a couple of Carlton Nuffies are all about it. Chloe Williams. Yeah, I've got.
What do you got?
I've got a Nuffy alarm on here because Fance mentioned it. I think it was last week. You were paying us out for going down to Track Watch in the preseason, and you yourself made this sound on air, which has now become the Nuffy alert alarm. That was you. That was your. That was you. That is the Fance new sound effect. So shout out to Chloe Williams over there, loving her Carlton team. But yeah, she's all over Adam Chair as well. Are you guys interested? Because he's been locked in since team picker for me and has not moved.
No.
Wow. Why?
Been burnt before.
Can't be sure enough with him.
I think he's going to be pure inside mid. They've lost Matt Kennedy. He's just going to be slotted in there. And I think they've got some really nice early matchups to be that stepping stone. And if he's not a stepping stone, he's still going to be plus 15 on his price. So it's not a wasted pick. Priced at 82, going to go 95 to 100. Hopefully, I think 105 plus. There it is. Joel Frazier, you mentioned him off the top of the show, 108, 370K. We know that 5 names is Keem's Fans. Are you?
Yeah, I don't mind it. He's one I've thought about. Tried to fit in 27 touches for Frazier, 7 marks as well. Was very good across half backs. He would actually, we do give Bear a fair bit. We did give him a fair bit on the show last year, but mentioned him right at the start. He's actually had some really good moments last year. Passed the eye test on a number of occasions. So, and of course, Bont said it as 5 names mentioned top of the show. So I don't mind it. And cheap enough to can be a pure stepping stone.
Yep, I like that. I'll skip over this guy because I'll bring him up last. But Isaac Rankin scored a 90. But the big thing here, the big story.
He cruised through that game. He cruised through
absolutely.
that game.
The big thing, full-time mid.
Yeah, cruised through that game. Pick him.
Number 1 CBAs as a midfielder.
Don't be
Riley O'Brien had more, obviously.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't be. Just
I agree. I think the only time I saw him put on the Jets.
You agree. He's trying to squeeze him out. Is that true?
I just can't figure out how I can fit all these value forwards in my team, and he was on the edge. But this role, as I said, 90 doesn't mean anything to me. It was the role.
Cruised.
Number 1 centre bounce mid for Adelaide, Isaac Rankin. This guy as a midfielder, even if he's pushing forward, kicking his goals, the only time I saw him put his foot off the first gear was when he went to kick a goal, and it was like for 2 seconds. Snagged it. Of course, he kicked it and then moved on. But
so what happened when the Crows, so when the game was on the line, Crows put Dawson up forward. He won it for them in the end, but they had Rankin, Saligo, Draper around the ball.
Sid the kid.
Get
him in, Matt.
Well,
to you Knicks. But Rankin, now, I know there's value, but at the end of the day, what are you trying to have in your team at the end of the year? Top 6, top 8 scorers in every position? Rankin, you lock him in top 2, can't you?
I think
you can predict that.
If it's not McRae,
or top 3.
Top 3 for sure.
Yeah. Just pick him then. Just pick him, Dozzy.
I'll pick him. I think I'll have to pick him. But the guy that stood out across the whole weekend.
Here we go. I'll have to walk out.
The guy. Heading down. I've gone down to Port Trainings, as we mentioned, and I've seen them struggle in their defensive line. That is the big thing that you've been down. Their defence seems to struggle. They have no one to distribute the ball back there, apart from McCain Farrell, who worked back from preseason injury on the weekend. Who was down there racking up the pill? I made the comparison 2022 Harry Himmelberg when he moved down back for GWS and became what looked like the next Luke Ryan, distributing the ball back there. Jeremy Finlayson at 300 flat K, available as a forward.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Fance shut it down immediately.
I think he had a great game. I think there's just too many value forwards.
Yep.
But you got to look he's playing St Kilda, but I think the big thing was not just his disposals, the amount of intercept marks he took, which is a really interesting sign.
Obviously, the issue there, the BZT, Brandon Zerk-Thatcher, he is currently out.
Oh, he's out till probably round 6, but I was at Port training today and Asava was running.
Yeah, okay. So Asava's the other one, yep.
But, I mean, geez.
If you play that good, is it going to be the Rory Lobb of last year where it's It goes back there, and that's where he stays.
On Finlayson, yes, he had a pretty disappointing year last year, inconsistent. Got the ban for the homophobic slur, came back, really fine. Then season ended early. But don't forget, when he played as that ruck, the small ruck, and just becoming an almost extra midfielder when the ball hit the ground. At one point, he was like Port's best player for a good 10 weeks almost.
I'm just looking at their schedule. We mentioned it with Connor Rosie fans. Now, you're going to spit some fire and shut me down here, but Richmond and St Kilda in the first month, you might not need more than that to get 200K from this guy. He might go 150 against both those teams.
That is
If he's playing defender against those two teams in the first month, that's two 120 plus scores from a 300K player. Lock it in.
Elliot Yeo's brother would have taken 13 marks against the Saints on the weekend.
All right.
Logan Evans took 12 marks. Aliir took 12 marks. Miles Berman took 9 marks. The thing that I was going to have a go at, and you were misleading the Supercoach community.
Oh, come on.
Basically called him the Dan Houston 2.0. Dan Houston reincarnated.
No,
he's a good kick.
Gee.
Gap. There's a role there.
Port it looks like they're going to go, there's a lot of guys that are going to, it's going to be almost by committee, it seems. Like you got Farrell, Lodie Evans is a good kick.
Yeah.
You got then guys, Josh Thin probably hasn't come on the way, I think he's still going to play. Bergman can do that. But Finlayson, there's definitely an opportunity there for him.
I know. I just probably can't trust that matchup against the Saints. I admit that it is an easy matchup to.
And there was no one tool to play on either. I know that he might encounter that early in the season as well, but he's going to have to play on someone if he's going to play back there going forward.
I should have had him.
Too much of a trap for mine.
Should have had him in the locks off the top of the show, I reckon.
Well, you did over the week. You did it. HK DOS on X. You did have him in the confirmed locks.
Yeah. Couple of extra names. Finn Callahan, 115, playing as a pure mid. Tom Powell was in there as a pure mid, but they've got a couple of guys to come back. James Jordan, randomly, 110, was the sub a lot of last year. I didn't even consider him, but tell you what, there might be a spot for him this year in the Sydney
he's not
lineup.
tagging.
All right, I'm going to go the other end now. So those guys we're keen on or have some interest on, cause for concern. So the role was good, scoring not so good. 2 guys you can rule out, I think, in your starting team. You might want to still put them on your bench, but even then, Liam Reedy.
He was my flex.
He scored.
That's disgusting looking at now.
15 points against Max Gawn, got smoked in the ruck, and Harry Boyd scored a 40. So
Boyd's cheap enough to.
Boyd is cheap enough. He's 99K. If he's named and playing, I think that's fine. And even if you just want him to have on your bench as like a red dot player to loop, that's fine. But you can't rely on these guys on field. Secondly, is there cause for concern? Sam De Koning, a lot of people keen, including myself, to play him. Playing in the ruck this year, had the great role, a lot of centre bounces, scored a 59, but was a tough matchup against Essendon traditionally last year for ruckman. Can we still go there? I mean, opening round will dictate this.
Well, will it? It's a good playing in a cyclone up there at the Gabba.
Yeah.
Could hide a lot as well.
Good.
I think the ball will be on the ground a bit.
I still like him. I think he'll be all right. Riley Sanders, the number 1 centre bounce midfielder for Western Bulldogs.
Which is big. We know Bond
huge
out now, no Treloar, Ed Richard racing the clock.
Is there cause for concern though? 79 points from a pure midfield, perfect role. Not saying there is. I'm just saying, are you willing to trust not just that role? You get no look at him in opening round. He's playing just round 1, and you got to trust Bevo.
He only had 5 kicks, 17 handballs. That hurt his final score. 8 contested possessions, 81%. So didn't waste it. Just we know if you're not kicking, you're not gaining ground. That hurts you in Supercoach as well. So
If we're just looking at role,
yeah, it's there. I think
it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like we're talking about Rankin scored a 90, but Sanders obviously isn't a player that's an established player that can cruise in these games. He's probably trying 110, 150%.
Who would you pick him over? That's the question. Jack McRae? No. Isaac Rankin? Dossie maybe say yes. Horny one? No. But Caleb Daniel? No. Bailey Smith? Maybe. The buy? Could that be the one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's the one I'm tossing up as well. It's like,
Or do you put? Or could you play him?
It's the unanswerable question for me, those ones, to be honest.
What about Hugo Garcia?
I think he's over Hugo Garcia. Like, I mean, it's a fair bit more money that you're paying.
It's about like $100,000.
It's a lot, but for me, I think he's more like Hugo's not a guy that can rack up the pill, and they didn't have Jack Sinclair, whereas Western Bulldogs pretty much had the team, unless you think Ed Richards, unless he makes it back in time. I feel like it's pick your poison, but it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough for me. We'll move on. That's really a flip of the coin. I think Hugo Garcia as well, 71 points he scored, but barely any St Kilda players scored. I don't necessarily think it's cause we said.
I think he's right.
We said lots of people traded him out. I think the role was there. I do worry. Part of me does worry big time about Jack Sinclair coming back. Where does he play? Is he playing as a midfielder? Is he playing as a defender? They put Isaiah Wanganeen Miller in the centre bounces in the second half as well to mix things up. Like, I don't know if he's going to be locked in, and he, for me, would be a greater sub-risk than even a Sanders. Or
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to pay for him, personally. James Peatling. The elephant in the room. We're here. You guys are big about James Peatling all preseason. You've been on the Nuffy train. I was pretty early to jump off a little bit, just 1 foot off the train, saying there's too many midfielders at the Crom. And he scored 70, was not in the midfield much on the weekend.
Oh, he was in the midfield a fair bit.
Team high contested possessions as well. 13.
How was his CBAs? He was lower than, he wasn't top
13.
He started on fire.
First CBA was there.
Started on fire and then kind of just had a really quiet period.
Enough for me. Still fine.
Yeah, I think I saw it enough. Like,
he's priced at 65, isn't he?
Well, yeah. So
scored a 70. That's enough for you.
I think if he can score 85.
Okay. I'm just teetering on the edge of. In fact, he's out for me. He's out.
But that's an easy one. If he's no good against St Kilda, he's go bank cash.
Trent Rivers, 62.
Trent.
Yeah, we were big on Trent.
Big.
Unfortunately, no go zone for me now, 62. The thing that I'm shocked with, and I mentioned it on the pod when we were keen, I said Petrarca, he's coming off these ribs. There's no way he's going to just go straight back in the midfield. Where was he?
Yeah, straight back.
Straight back in the midfield, which is why I'm so keen on him. Another guy, this was perhaps my West Coast fandom coming through, Liam Duggan. Ugh. I'm completely off that.
I told you that.
We both told him.
You both told me. I don't know why. That's going to go down in history as that was a bad call. 44 he scored. He was third most centre bounces behind Kelly and Graham.
All right. What was his disposal efficiency?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been great. Like, he just can't find the pill. He's in fact allergic to it sometimes.
Yeah.
Will Day, 65.
It's a big one. A lot of people jumping off that practice game.
I only think it's cause for concern. I think he's going to have a great season. I think he is one of these players that would probably cruise through preseason. But the Hawks only had one player score a ton in this game. I think it was James Warple. So they're traditionally just not a massive. They don't have massive scorers in their team. And secondly, if you've only got him to the bye, which you do, what's it, round 4 for the Hawks? He's got 3 potential tags in those matchups, or at least 2. I can't remember the schedule exactly, but whenever I looked at it, I was like, tag for Will Day. And he's the clear tag for me. So I would be cause for concern for Will Day, but I think at his price, 92, I think he's definitely going to be better than that. It's just a matter of how much better. And if you've got similar players around the same price, or even, that's why I'm looking at like an Adam Chera, 10 points cheaper than him, doesn't have the bye, has good early matchups. That's what I'm sort of weighing up at the moment.
Is Will Day top 8, top 10 mid?
I don't think he is.
I agree. Good player. Going to get better. Maybe one day might be that.
We all got really excited about that game, that 2 weeks ago. It was good. It was a good game.
Dossie, what did I leave? What did I leave with after the practice match? What did I leave with? Dossie? Don't overreact.
Don't overreact.
Change your team too much. Okay. course, plenty of debate, comments, feedback coming through on all our channels. Again, please tell us what you think on the Code Sports YouTube channel and at the Phantom SC on X. A few comments here. We like to get the audience involved. So if you post something, we'll try to read it out. If you got a whack for hipster, 5 names as mate, we'll read that out.
Awesome tight pants from the fans.
How are the
They're-
fans look?
It's the way I'm sitting. Joey DeSena,
Yep, our man.
Christian Petrarca back in my midfield. So again, you are a bit prone to copying Geordie.
Been in the DMs, yep.
Patch from Breaking Even with Our feature on there. Need some level-headed ruck chat. Cherry Gorn, TDK Flynn, Reedy Boy. What's going on here? I think we covered that.
Mhm.
But some interesting decisions to be made there in the ruck.
Where are you guys sitting quickly before opening round? Where are you sitting in the ruck?
Cherry and TDK.
Same.
Okay, no flex.
Flynn flex.
I had Reedy as flex, but he's gone, and I don't have the cash to be able to afford Flynn in the flex.
I'm TDK Flynn at the moment, but I don't think.
Press
I'll
the button. Press the button.
No.
Press the button.
Press the button.
Press.
I don't think I'm going to hold my nerve on that one. So,
Matty M. Is Ari Shoemaker still a good pick? Didn't play on the weekend. That's at you, Dossie.
no, he's not in best swing.
Fourth emergency.
Yeah, he's not in best swing too. Hasty, still liking the look of him. Didn't score massively, but I really like him as a midfield-only rookie that I think you can pay basement, and I reckon his job security pretty good. Like the way he's attacking the footy at the moment is all I want to see from him and putting up some good intercept numbers. So I think he's kind of just pushed past Ari Shoemaker for the moment. Still like him long-term in your keeper leagues.
Yep. Okay, a couple of little questions here to finish off. 1-word answers, 5 names, 1 word. The draft one to start with. Of course, if you listen to the drafted as well on the AFL SuperCoach podcast channel, and plenty of good content in the news tab of the SuperCoach app. Connor says, would you keep playing keeper league Isaac Heaney or Caleb Sarong?
Sarong.
Yeah, Sarong.
Heaney for me.
He's younger. I mean, for keeper leagues, you keep the younger player.
Also, he's Fremantle's best player.
Yeah.
Heaney for mine. Back to classic. Chera, Peatling or Sanders? Does he?
Chera, Peatling or Sanders? Chera.
They're not really the same price.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just like
what? Yeah,
I will factor in all of it. Chera.
Yeah. Do you know what? As much as I hate that, I'm going to agree with you. Chera.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be driving down the West Lakes and telling James Peatling that, because
That's fine.
I'll be taking Peatling for mine. Just a few there, of course, going to be part of the show at the Phantom SC every week and across all our channels. That probably does it, Chief. Happy with that? Big show. We did promise a big show, and it was.
Yep.
Now we wait. Hopefully the game goes ahead Thursday night. Wait and see there, because that could change things big time. It means next week's podcast is, and we might have to do 2.
We might have to do 2. Final thoughts. I always used to butt in last season. Final thoughts on these extra players.
Go on again.
Aaron Muscles, hit us.
Come on, Chiefy.
Zorko, 123 on the weekend. A lot of people bringing him in. I've seen a few
I've tried to bring him in.
Nah.
But
too old.
I can't do him and
Too
Neil.
old, yeah.
Can't do him and Neil. He's got, I think Neil's got
Neil as
West
well was
Coast.
the next one.
West Coast Richmond. Zorko could go 150 against both.
So you're kind of ignoring these early buys a little bit.
Yep.
Libba.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned him as your, I want to bring up the sound effect if I can get there in time.
Yeah.
For your new listener, shooting from the hip.
He's
kill,
replaced.
point of difference.
He's my Bont replacement.
Huge. He's in your squad.
Yeah.
That's big.
Liver. Oh, yeah. Love Liver. He's like, I mean, if Bont's gone, Liver's just going to just get so much contested ball.
31 touches, 10 tackles, 13 contested possessions.
Yeah. I think for me, Ed Richards would have been that guy if he was still in the team. If he was still uninjured, he would have been for me like a lock. But yeah, it could be Libba now. Sam Darcy, 110. My boy just wanted to mention that. 110. Andy Brayshaw, 134 fans.
I know you're big on him.
I'm big on Andrew Brayshaw.
Contested possessions were good against the Demons for him. 13 contested, team high. 22 touches.
Yeah, low on the I mean, to manage still 134 points, I think that speaks to where he's going to go this year.
I'm still a little bit. I'm still have my.
I've got
reservations.
Brayshaw. I've had Brayshaw since the start.
Is he a top 8?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
I think
He was for the back half of last year.
Yeah, and he's not getting tagged.
And remember,
They're not
last season he
tagging
was
him.
injured in the start of the year as well.
They're not tagging him. They're tagging us wrong.
I'm not saying he's not. That was just a question.
Yeah.
Keep an eye. Under 10% owned, so
Yeah, he's my boy.
I don't want to pew, but he's close enough.
Can I have that and can I have Bray and
You're
deliver?
You're going to fight over your boy. Fight over Brayshaw.
I've had him since the start.
Dossie's just
It's
jumping
a
on,
recent
just like
addition.
him.
I was on and off and
It's a
back.
familiar pattern here from the chat.
It's just Caleb Sarong, 94 points in just 3 quarters.
Rubber
by the
Brayshaw.
way.
Can't be trading
it was, I think, 59% time on ground. I was shocked.
I prefer Sarong.
59%.
I'd rather Bray. Someone to get tagged.
I'm on Brayshaw. And Jordan Dawson, I just want to, my man.
He
111.
was good.
I thought that was a bit, I was shocked it was low. I was that
Yeah.
low. 111.
The
I think the Crows just had a
Phantom
lot
didn't
of
give
good-
him any love with the points that he dishes out.
Yeah.
5 contested possessions.
Mm.
Now, we did speak about him sort
It's
of
a
floating
pre-season
around.
game.
He was floating around the back. The midfield mix looked good. He was on the receiving end, which is what the Crows want. I think that's a good thing for the Crows. We know his massive scores over the last couple of years have either been his contested possession count's been high, or he's gone behind the ball and taken intercept marks to go with his work through the midfield. Is there going to be enough? Is there going to be enough of either of those to go with his role in the new look Adelaide midfield?
I think he'll do that. I think he'll kick goals. I just feel like he does a bit of everything and he's still the go-to guy. I am hoping that he can be more of a midfielder this year. And I think you've kind of been saying that at training, that he's kind of in there. And I think we've seen that enough so far. It probably all depends on the guys around them because I think it's going to be hopefully a bit of Rankin, obviously, number one, and then Dawson not far behind, and then the rest kind of split the midfield time. But if you're saying, he did go forward late, it is kind of a minor worry for Dawson, I think.
I think if you've got Dawson, a lot of these guys, like, it's going to be the same with me and Saligo. If you still like him, trust your gut.
You go on Saligo?
Yeah, I'm going to Saligo.
I have to. We have to.
I'm still doing Saligo. He, did enough.
I'm Jordan Dawson's biggest fan, as 5 names knows. And so just not feeling it to start with.
Wow.
I think he's going to have a great year for the Crows. I don't know. Not ruling him out, but still have my doubts.
All right. Well, the cameras have run out of battery, fans, so we better wrap this up. It's time to head off, I think, on another episode of The Lair.
Yep. Leave your comments, ratings, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, Code Sports YouTube channel. And we're back next week. Days out from the start of the SuperCoach season. Enjoy the week. Get the research in. Look at the numbers. Codesports.com.au and the official SuperCoach app. Enjoy it.
I want to leave you with one thing too. Do we need a ratings target on Apple, Spotify? And what are we going to do if they hit the target? If the fans hit the target? I want to bring the bleach back for Sim. He's gone the peroxide before.
You've thought about this, so give us your ideas.
I do need. I mean, I'll do it at East years.
What about 5 names and hipster in the ring? Before gather round. Before gather round. Kane Corns, Nate Brown style.
Well, you do that. I mean, I don't think anyone would really want to watch that. To be honest, I mean, you don't want to see a massacre.
True.
Oh, I did have some notes. I don't have them on me. Maybe we bring it up next week on The Lair. Leave your comments below. Get your ratings in and we'll have a target.
And send us through as well what you think we should do.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. See you next week.